I've gotten all the parts. I had to go back to the supply store because the toggle switches they had were spring return. Of course, you don't know that until you use them, but this little puppy is a double pole, double throw, center off toggle switch. And I'm making a diagram so I don't mess this up. If you look at the side view, that's what it looks like. The rear view, I've set it up like this. So I've numbered the terminals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've checked it with an ohmmeter. If it's down, the top set is on. If it's in the center, they're all off. And if you flip it up, the bottom set is down. So there's a contact here and a contact here. Now, why did I go with this kind of a switch? Well, it's because to keep us out of trouble, this is the mounting plate that I pulled out of the camper van. I'm going to put an LED in there, a green LED for each switch, probably be mounted directly above it. And if the switch is on so that power is flowing to devices, it will light up. And I'm going to use the second set of contacts. That's what this is. One set is going to switch, in this case, the camera in the rear. The second set is going to be used to power the LED. Keep those isolated and separate. And I'm going to have two switches. The second one I'm going to sketch up now. And the reason I'm doing this in sketch form is because I've got to solder all of this stuff. I really didn't want to use these miniature switches, but since that's what's available and will work, I decided need to do it right the first time. So anyway, there you go. I've got some number 18 stranded wire in various colors. Once the sketches are done, I'll put it all together and I'll start soldering and mount it, drill a few holes, and voila! We move forward. Camper van adventures! So I've marked a couple of center lines here. I'm going to attempt to mount the switches on the bottom half and the LEDs directly above. So this gives me a rough, the approximate center lines for the switches, which require a 1/4 inch diameter hole. I've now drilled 2 pilot holes, and the next step will be to enlarge them. Okay, so the instructions say 1/4 inch holes are required. Well, here's a 1/4 inch drill. Let's see how that works. Oh, the LED looks like it conforms, and the switch, ditto. Now, why would I check this? Because my mantra is check or trust. Check everything, trust no one. And we got a couple of pilot holes drilled here, and we'll go for the 1/4 inch and finish this up. So here is the panel after I've drilled it and installed the LEDs and the switches. You can see one is a little bit lower than the other. Well, that's the way it goes. Here's the rear view, and now I'll begin soldering and assembling this thing. The soldering iron's been heating up while I've been assembling the light and switch panel. It's sitting on my trusty glass of wine, and that serves double duty. It's going on 6 p.m., so we're entering the fun hour here. This is my white paint stick. That's what I use to mark black plastic. I prefer something like the Tester's paint marker. I use both black and white depending upon what I'm doing. There are all kinds of things, different approaches. Use what works, get the result. Now that I have these mounted, I can wire them, because until they're mounted, it's impossible to wire them because contact positions are based upon up or down positions. So now we know what's up and we know what's down or center. Center, of course, is in this case is off. Down is one position, up is the other. And now I'll start soldering things together. Here's the video control panel. I've tagged the wires and tinned them. It's ready to install. I did test it. I've got my little compressor 12 volt source here. Temporary power, 12 volts. And plug that in. turn the power on. And there it is. And flip the switch, and there's the LED to say we actually have power on. This is the left, which is for the existing camera. So when it's up, we're going to be in the continuous on mode. This is for the new camera, and when it's up, it's powered up. When it's down or in the center, it's off. I've used 3-position toggles. One pole is used for the LEDs, the other one's for the actual control. I made them the same, make my life simple. I may decide to do something with this one in the future. The sketch will help me along. I've used separate wires. Yellow is 12-volt positive. Red is various controls.